We are going to be focusing on some simple things that we can do for releasing the hips. Now, it's common to say open the hips, but in reality, we're not opening the hip joint, but we are releasing the hip muscles that are around the hip joint, and that is especially in Colorado with a very active community, but also for a number of other reasons. People contend with some very tight hip muscles, and this can create stiffness, lack of range of movement. It can create pain over time. It can even lend itself to, perhaps being a part of what's compressing a hip joint. As well as with tight hips, it can affect what's above it and below it. So people often will have knee issues that can be connected to tight hips, as well as back issues. So releasing the hip muscles is a great thing. So here's a few simple things that you can easily do. So I'm starting sitting on 2 blankets. Now this can vary depending on your body. If you're a little stiffer, you might even go higher. So I would recommend, and how you can tell what the right number of blankets or how much height is going to be effective for you, is when you're sitting, you want your pelvis to be level and your lower back to be in its natural lumbar curve, which is slightly coming forward. All right, so if you find that it's pushing back and your chest collapses, sitting on a little more height is going to do you a great favor. All right, so the sit bones are down, just starting with the legs coming forward, and then the chest is lifted. All right, and then from here, we're going to take the legs into a simple pose where we're bending the knee. So I'm going to bend the knee out to the side, and already you might find it's stiff or tight. And I'm just going to do a little movement at first, just getting a little movement into the hip and then come back out. So holding behind the knee, the tendons here, use your hand to help lift